Today we're reading the top posts on the True Off My Chest subreddit, and it's going to be so fun. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day today, and I hope you're ready for this. It's a beautiful rainy sort of day today. I'm excited to sit back and get into this. So yeah, with that being said, let's read some very concerning content probably. Enjoy, guys. I can hear my neighbor talk to his cat. Every day when my neighbor comes home from work, he unlocks his door and says, "Hello, Kevin." And Kevin the cat meows back in greeting. Oh, that's so cute. Our apartment building is small and I can hear nearly everything that happens in the communal hallways in my living room. I don't know my neighbors at all, not even his name, but I know his cat. My neighbor also likes to smoke a lot of weed. No shame, I like to indulge too. Just not every day. I work from home and I live alone, but hearing "Hello, Kevin" has become a part of my routine. It makes me smile every time. Yesterday I heard the normal "Hello, Kevin" greeting and Kevin's meow. I could later smell that he was smoking. Then I heard him go into the laundry room and come back. But then I heard something odd. Kevin's meowing was super loud and he sounded pissed. I waited a little while, but Kevin persisted. I opened up my door and I saw Kevin outside the neighbor's door. He was practically screaming and jumping up to hit the door with his little paws. Inside the apartment, I heard my neighbor echoing Kevin's cries. My neighbor sounded frantic and desperate, calling "Kevin" over and over again. I walked up to the door and I knocked. I heard my neighbor pause and then quietly, with amazement and perhaps fear, repeat "Kevin?" At the last minute, I decided to dart back into my apartment and softly close the door, listening while my neighbor let Kevin in. He whispered, "How did you do that, Kevin?" I've been laughing to myself about it since it happened, imagining my stoned out of his mind neighbor contemplating how his cat Human knocked on his door. Oh, right, okay, so you went and knocked on their door and they thought it was their cat? Wow, that's so beautiful. Edit, hello everyone. I'm so glad that it makes me so happy that this has been a bright spot in Pepple's day. I'm dumbfounded by how much attention this has gotten. Thank you so much for the awards. I wish I could respond to every comment and tell you all how amazing I think you are. I'm a long-time Reddit user and I never thought some dumb thing I did would make so many people laugh. I don't have any pictures of Kevin to share. I don't want to invade his privacy. I only see him when he monitors my trips to and from my car, but I can give a description of what he looks like. Kevin's a small cat that has long greyish hair. He looks fluffy but not chunky. Chonky. He was very skittish and kept his distance, so I think he's probably pretty shy and aloof. He has tremendously big eyes, but I'm not sure if that's his panicked look or not. Sounds like Jin. He's grey, fluffy, and not too chonky. I hope everybody has a great day and week in life. Give your pets a pat for me. Oh, that's so beautiful, and it's so nice to start the episode with a wholesome one. As I'm sure you guys know, some of the posts on here can be bloody devastating, so it's so nice to read a positive one. I laced my braid with thumbtacks as self-defense. I, 28 female, was 24 years old at the time, and I worked in this independent kitchen with no HR department as a cook for several years. There was a brief period of time where a co-worker was pulling my hair repeatedly after being asked and told not to. He didn't even stop when my managers told him to F off, so I got permission from my sous chef to take things into my own hands. I braided my hair for work one day and I wove thumbtacks into it. I was met with a yelp when he tried to pull my hair again, and he never did it again. This has been on my mind lately because it was a pivotal moment for me in the way that I allowed people to treat me. Wow, that's incredible. What kind of absolute ding-dong is going to pull somebody's hair every day? That's so annoying. And yeah, honestly, that's so deserved. My wife sleeps like an a-hole. To start, I love this woman more than life itself. She's the most selfless, supportive, and loving person I've ever met. Every single day that I'm with her, I'm a better person for it. That being said, she sleeps like an a-hole. We start all cuddled up like a Disney movie, snug as a bug in a rug, and then when she falls asleep, we begin the nightly turf war that is our bed. She'll often start with a classic starfish maneuver, spreading her arms and legs to establish a beachhead to begin her insurgence. She'll then begin to slowly rotate her body in a counterclockwise fashion until she's sleeping diagonally across the bed, establishing an ingress with her feet and legs. She brings her upper body forward, pinning me in and leaving me exactly 2 inches for my insomniac ass to try to sleep on. I then try to slowly slide out of bed and sleep on her side, in which her reaction is to do the same thing 5 minutes later. I've tried everything. We bought a California king-size bed for our tiny bedroom. I established a green zone with pillows. I've even gently picked her up and slid her to her side, to no avail. The thing is, I can't sleep in an empty bed anymore because I love this dummy so much. It's literally kept me up nights that I end up going to work without any sleep, and then I can only sleep the next night out of sheer exhaustion. She also works hard, so I can't wake her up, but God, I'm so tired. Oh my God, that would be so awful. What's the solution to something like this? Because they obviously don't mean to. Like, they're asleep. They're not doing this on purpose. The top comment says there is only one solution: bunk beds. Okay, hopefully there's a second solution. Good luck with this. My parents are trying to control my wedding because they want me to invite my brother. He has pica and I'm not inviting him. For anyone who doesn't know, pica is an eating disorder that causes people to eat things that are not food, like rocks and drywall and chalks and nails and plastic. He developed it as an adult and he refuses to see a doctor or have treatment. My parents say if I avoid having the things that he eats at my wedding, he'll be able to go without being disruptive. So no flowers, no paper, no lace on the bride's veil, no plants in soil for our centerpieces. There are other things like my brother will eat rocks, but these are the main ones. I'm not changing my wedding for a 35-year-old man who likes to eat dirt. It's not my problem, no matter what my parents say. And I'm sure as hell not telling my fiance that she can't have flowers or can't wear the veil she wants. Just complaining and venting because it's been a very trying time dealing with my parents on this. Oh my god, the top 2 comments. Now I'm just imagining him munching away at the veil during the ceremony. No, he legitimately ate some of our Nana's lace tablecloth and needed surgery to remove it because he ended up with a blockage. I'm not even joking. So my parents tried to ban my fiance from having the lace veil that she's buying for her own wedding. It makes me angry that this is the hill that they want to die on. But is it uncontrollable? Like this comment says, as someone with pica, your brother can absolutely just bring his own chalk to munch on. If he's making it other people's problem, he's just a ding-dong. He could chew on crushed ice while he's there and be fine. If not, he's being disruptive on purpose. Yeah, like surely they're not just gonna see the flowers at the wedding and immediately run over and start eating them. But yeah, you're right, it's your wedding and there are gonna be flowers and rocks and lace and stuff. I'm interested to know what happened with this. They're not my kids and not my problem. About a month ago, I found out that both of my children were the results of my soon-to-be ex-wife's affairs. I've had a feeling for a while now that both of them were not mine. 6 years ago when my son was born, I was the happiest I've been in my entire life. I'd married my best friend, we had a child together and everything seemed amazing. That was until he started getting older. After a few years, I started to have doubts that he was actually mine. He did not look like my child. The more he started to grow, the more I realized just how different he looked compared to what I would expect a child of mine to look like. I'm not petty or paranoid enough to let that alone drive me. It was my blank of a wife that really set my alarms off. Whenever she went out, she never went where she said she did. She would have huge holes in her schedule she could never explain to me. She would refuse to allow me to interact with anyone from her workplace, and a close friend of hers accused her of flirting with her significant other at the time. It didn't help that soon after our son was born, her lies started to catch up with her. Still though, I loved her like the fool I was. She told me up and down how much she loved me whenever one of her lies caught up with her. She had convinced me that despite the fact she was a lying and manipulative woman, that she wasn't a lying, manipulative you-know-what. Last year she got pregnant again, and I still held out a small bit of hope that it was mine. But when her daughter was born, it was obvious that she was mixed race. I refused to sign the birth certificate, and the paternity test I demanded afterwards proved my suspicions right all along. Neither of them are mine. The day I got those test results were the day I filed for divorce from the you-know-what, and I walked away from the family that I created. I knew that it would destroy her son's life to see me walk out. Despite my concerns, I was the best dad I could be to him. I loved him with all my heart, and I put 110% into being the father that he deserved. Now though, when I see him, I'm filled with disgust. Disgust for my awful wife, disgust with myself for not trusting my instincts, and disgust that the last 6 years of my life have been for nothing. I've been told by multiple people now that I'm a monster for leaving my son like this. My ex-wife tried on multiple occasions since I moved out to use him to guilt me into getting back with her. She'll have him call me at random hours of the night crying and begging for his dad to come back. The day I moved out, she paraded him into the room as I packed my things to show me how much damage I'm doing. In every conversation that is brought up both online and off, I'm berated and shamed that despite the fact I'm not the boy's biological father, I am his dad. What I've sadly now realized is that to most, my own feelings mean nothing. My parents are my only supporters through all of this. My own siblings are calling me despicable for abandoning a child like that. My feelings of betrayal and sadness mean nothing because there's a child involved. I know it's not his fault. I know that the man he called his father for his entire life just walked away, but why am I expected to man up? Why should I have to pretend everything's fine and that I don't feel contempt for this entire situation? Why should I put my own life and feelings aside? I never was the boy's father. I loved him like one, and honestly I still do, but I would come to hate and contempt him if I had to play that role, and hate myself for not standing up and taking my own life back into my own hands. He's not my child, and even though it's not his fault, he's not my problem anymore. Edit. Wow, this post certainly blew up. I guess airing my dirty laundry accomplished something. Anyway, I've seen a few common questions, so I'll answer them. Her son knows the truth of why I left. I sat down and I told him that I'm not his father and that his mother lied to me and cheated on me. I made it clear that I'm not mad at him, that it's not his fault this is happening, and no matter what, I'll still think he's an amazing kid. Some are saying that I never loved him or was always looking for a way out. It's hard to convey emotions in a text post like this, and even harder to allow vitriolic hatred towards your wife. Decontextualize the last 6 years of your life, but you can believe whatever you want. I have a lawyer and I'm not going to be paying child support or alimony. Last though, for those who say I should stay in her son's life and be his father, that's not realistically possible. I don't hate him, but I have been cheated on and lied to and used by a vile, self-centered you-know-what, who's now caught her children up in her lies and deceit. He's a causality of her actions and blameless. However, it can never change the fact of the harsh reality that we find ourselves in. I don't hate him. I feel so sad when I think about how he feels, but all I see when I look at him is 6 years of my life that I was lied to, 6 years of my life I was used, and 6 long years of built-up doubts and frustrations with a woman who used me. There's no putting aside my hatred to try and be in his life, because the life I lived with him was nothing more than a facade, all cultivated by his mother. This is the harsh reality that I find myself dealing with, and I simply can't in good faith put myself or him through anymore. Since I'm seeing many armchair lawyers in the comments saying this post is fake, on grounds of what I've said above, I will not reveal what state I live in, but I'm currently going through a fun legal process called disestablishment of paternity. Won't shut up 90% of you who think Google makes you a lawyer, but at least I tried. This is going to be my last edit before I move on from this small little distraction that I created for myself. First, I want to thank everyone for their kind words to me. In the comments, the DMs, and the chat, you've given me a bright day for the first time in a while. I wish I could reply to all of you, but I can't. Thank you though. Secondly, I've noticed many people criticizing the word I used very profusely to describe my soon-to-be ex. I want to just say, the place I am now is one of the darkest I've been in my life. I see nothing but white-hot rage for the woman who ruined my life. Is what I said inappropriate? Is the word I used to describe her dehumanizing and vile? Yeah, I will admit that, but I won't apologize for it. What I wrote here today was the truth of the world as it is for me right now. It's the raw, unadulterated stream of consciousness of a flawed man. I do not intend to try and get people to hate women or to push some misogynistic message about how women are terrible. That's not my goal here, and that's not the message of this post. I understand why people don't like the word I use here, and you know what? I accept that as a valid criticism of what I did here today. I came here today to simply find some outlet for the situation that I find myself in, to rant and mourn and deal with the complex and raw emotions that have torn me apart for the last month. A place where I can freely speak my mind, and you know what? I did that. Today was pretty alright thanks to you guys. Again, to everyone who showed me love and support, thank you from the bottom of my heart. To those who came here disagreeing with me but showed me respect, thank you as well. After the shame and ridicule I face in my real life, the respect you showed me despite your disagreement was nice. So long, and thank you for all the fish. Wow, that's so unbelievable. And yeah, these are completely valid feelings. This is a nightmare. Like, what an awful, heartbreaking, well, more than heartbreaking situation. Yeah, like this comment says, this hurt my heart to read this. My gut reaction as a mother was to tell you that it's not the child's fault, etc., etc., and it's not. What has me not telling you to not try and daddy those kids is your ex's reaction. She clearly had every intention of using those kids against you to try and guilt you and therefore control you. What an evil, awful woman. Your siblings are wrong. There's no happy ending here. It's not some made-for-TV movie. Get away from it and cut all contact and block her and get a new phone number if need be. Yeah, 1,000,000%. It sounds like they're doing the best possible thing. And yeah, when you're dealing with somebody like that, it's not going to be a good, happy outcome. You need to get as far away from them as possible. Yeah, wow, that was wild. My husband splashed water on the dress I was going to wear to my brother's wedding because he thought it was too revealing. My husband and I were invited to my brother's wedding. I had a knee-length dress with straps on the shoulder and back to wear to the wedding. My husband didn't want me to wear it and said he thought it was too revealing. I told him to relax and take it easy since the wedding was small and no strangers would be there. Besides, I thought it was fine and not revealing. He kept arguing with me about it and told me to wear something else, but I refused. He waited until I was wearing it and then splashed water all over it. I was in shock. Water was too cold and it covered my whole body, not just the dress. It also got my face and my hair. I froze there in shock and I began to cry really loud. He was already in his suit ready to go to the wedding. He told me that he'd be waiting in the car for me while I changed, but I screamed at him to F off and get out. He didn't even apologize. He just kept ranting about how I ignored his feelings towards the dress and disrespected his opinion on it. I still feel upset and devastated by the whole thing. We're not speaking together and he thinks obviously did me a favor and kept my dignity and called me a hoe. I'm struggling to let this go and I get suffocated whenever I record the event. Ew, that's revolting. Gonna end up single, dude. Yeah, that's so awful. And to call you a hoe afterwards, that's not how you treat someone that you love. And yeah, they're talking about their husband, which is even worse. And if they're not already behaving awfully, I feel like this is the beginning of really awful behavior. Like, what's going through your head when you do something like this? Yeah, straight up, you deserve a partner who doesn't do stuff like this. The next one is called, my boss got a $7,000 tip on a $45 bill and she just gave it to me. I must share this with the rest of you all. This happened yesterday. I work as a dishwasher and a cleaner at a very small restaurant. The owner is this amazing woman. I aspire to be like her in 10 years. Yesterday, a customer, a 50-ish-year-old man, left a huge tip, around $7,000. She thought that since she was the owner, she didn't get to keep the tip. So after she thanked the customer and he left, she made it clear that it was all going to me. I just couldn't believe my ears. I love my job and I love my boss. I now want to share my happiness with you guys. This Christmas, I'm going to be able to visit my home country and see my family for the first time in 5 years. Thank you. Wow, that's so beautiful. That's 100% how you treat employees. What a legend. The next one is called, my friend called me broke after I asked her to pay me back. So my friend was in dire need of cash and as the senseless moron that I am, I took out next month's rent and I handed it over to her. I'm still in college and there's barely any time to work. Plus money just doesn't last the way that it used to in high school. Today I asked her if she'd be able to pay me back soon and for some reason she found it offensive. She said she's going through a lot of crap and I'm not being supportive. I tried explaining the state of things to her and she began saying sexist stuff like, what type of man asks a woman for money? Like, what the hell? She even told me to get my broke ass a job. You can imagine the irony.
Ha! The ironing is delicious. The word is irony.
Yeah, 1,000,000% the top comment. She is not a friend. She's rude. From this point on, I will consider this a loss and go no contact. She's a user, nothing more and nothing less. Yeah, that's definitely not friend behavior. I installed a camera in the living room and I caught my husband making out with the babysitter. I've been having my suspicions for almost 4 months since I hired this 17-year-old babysitter for my 3-year-old daughter. I'm a nurse working full-time while he works 3 nights a week and comes home to sleep during the day. I felt like I was going crazy because something was off and he refused to ease my mind or answer the questions I had. So I put up a camera in the living room and I saw nothing until day 4, where he and the babysitter were making out on the couch behind my daughter's back while she was watching TV. I felt like my entire world came crashing to the ground. I felt all kinds of negative feelings, including guilt, even though I just wanted to keep my job. When he complained about me pushing him to the side, he started crying when confronted. Yeah, because they were caught. Tried to get me to listen, but I took my daughter and I went to stay with mum. It's been a whole month. The babysitter is gone and he's still crying about his slip up. Even went as far as to say that the babysitter was the one initiating. Oh my god. Trying to make excuses. I feel like I'm done with him after this. He managed to make me feel guilty for not dressing up or giving him enough attention. Now I do strongly believe I bear part of the blame. Oh god, no. In what happened, I feel disgusted and my mind and heart keep racing, not knowing how to deal with all of this. He's begging for a second chance and his family are defending him against me. I forgot to mention our ages. I'm 31 and he's 34 and the babysitter was 17. Am I reading this right? Yeah, like this comment says, he cheated with a minor. This is not your fault. Oh my god, right when you think it can't get any worse, it gets way worse. I drove 1.5 hours to take a nap in my mum's bed. Within the last 30 days, I was dumped by my girlfriend, my hamster passed away, and I finally put my 2 weeks in at a toxic job. I, an independent 28-year-old, was in need of something very specific that would fill the holes in my heart. I soon found myself driving 1.5 hours to my mum's apartment, where she greeted me warmly. I did my best to hang out with her for a bit, but ultimately found my way to her bed and I cuddled up on it, and I was passed out for 5 hours. When I finally crawled out of bed, she had dinner ready and gave me the biggest hug. There's really nothing greater. Oh, that's so beautiful. And while we're on a wholesome post, I feel like we should leave the episode there, guys. That was an absolute adventure of a video, and I hope you had a wonderful time. But yeah, let's read some wholesome memes. Grandfather with vitiligo crochets dolls for children with the same condition. Oh, that's so awesome. Wow, starting it off with an absolute legend. My mum had a picture of my dad in her wallet like this. Oh, that's so cute. Hello, I'm the shape of a jelly bean. It's so funny because it makes their forehead look super elongated. That's so cute. How my husband and I decide on dinner sometimes. They send an empty plate and then they put a pizza pizza on it. Okay, it feels so nice to read these. This could be us. DM your crush, this could be us, and then post the results. I'm your crush. Oh my god. But yes, it could be, and it will be. Oh, is that real? That's so beautiful. And once again, thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful time. And if you did, you know what to do. Make sure you like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. And the comment of the day today goes to Sunshine Girl. I'm so sick in bed, sleeping so much, and listening to this while drinking tea makes me confidently feel comforted. Thank you for the support. It means so much to me. This was on an Am I the A-hole video as well. And yeah, I can totally understand that. Absolutely unhinged Am I the A-hole posts and drinking tea at the same time. That sounds like a good combination. And yeah, I'm so glad the videos helped a little bit. Okay, I'm out of here. Another super fun video done. Already excited for the next one. As always, guys, make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!